WWE reportedly signs former TNA Knockouts World Champion Jordynne Grace to a multi-year contract. CM Punk comes face-to-face with undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes on the final Raw before the Royal Rumble. Sami Zayn confronts CM Punk backstage and later in the night accidentally hits a haluva kick on the undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes. Rhodes was also attacked after Raw by SmackDown superstar Carmelo Hayes. Cenat was at Raw last night and he calls out IShowSpeed and will be attending the Royal Rumble this weekend. Logan Paul makes his Raw debut. Jordynne suffers broken ribs and a punctured lung following a scary Raw spot. Jey Uso makes an epic Raw entrance alongside Quavo and declares his entry into the men's Royal Rumble match. Drew McIntyre confronts Paul Heyman following the WWE 2K25 cover reveal on Raw. AJ Styles could be cleared in time to compete in the men's Royal Rumble match this weekend. Penta has confronted Intercontinental Champion Bron Breakker. Zelina Vega becomes the latest superstar to be traded brands following the transfer window, which will end this weekend. Ilya Dragunov, an update on his return from injury. Speaking of injuries, Dakota Kai reportedly is out of action due to a concussion. The commentary team for the Royal Rumble has been confirmed. An update on the injury status of Rhea Ripley. Plus, we got the ratings for Friday's edition of SmackDown on USA Network. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with news that we kind of already know, but now seemingly it has been confirmed by some major outlets. WWE has officially landed a huge free agent signing that most expected would happen. Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp has confirmed with WWE sources that top free agent Jordynne Grace has signed with the company on a multi-year contract. Fightful learned that WWE had made their interest known and made the offer a couple of weeks before Grace finished up, with TNA fully aware that Grace would be leaving the company. Those that Fightful spoke to in WWE said that Grace was signed almost immediately after her last match in TNA and that they didn't want to let her get to free agency. Of course, we get any more details on this, we'll let you know in a future video. CM Punk, just like last year before the Royal Rumble, went face-to-face with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes came face-to-face with CM Punk in the middle of the ring during Raw. The WWE Champion emerged for the last segment of the show following Sami Zayn's match against Drew McIntyre, running in to make the save but getting an apparent inadvertent haluva kick from Zayn. We'll talk about this later on. Now, Zayn pursued Owens to leave Cody Rhodes in the ring, and he got talking about his upcoming WWE title ladder match with Kevin Owens at the Royal Rumble event. He made it clear he was looking forward to putting the feud behind him, but found himself interrupted by CM Punk's music as he made his entrance. Punk asked Rhodes if he was doing okay, saying that he remembered while he was the world champion, he similarly had no friends, and recognizing that as WWE's poster boy, Rhodes gets to spend less time with his wife and daughter. Rhodes appeared unfazed by Punk's words and asked of his intention, prompting Punk to affirm his intent to win the 2025 Royal Rumble and challenge Rhodes for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. The champion recalled their earlier days in the business, telling Punk that now he is chasing him and he hopes he can catch up. The pair then continued to push for the last word, staring down one another as the show went off the air. Punk, of course, will be entering the Rumble to achieve his career-long goal to main event WrestleMania, but he is yet to win the annual staple in 7 attempts across 3 decades, joining the field of announced competitors, including two-time winner John Cena, alongside former winners Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Rey Mysterio. And we spoke about Sami Zayn. He confronted CM Punk on Raw, and he continues his path towards the World Heavyweight Championship and ruffled the feathers of CM Punk in the process. CM Punk was interviewed by Jackie Redmond on the January 27th episode of Raw and reiterated he would throw anyone over the top rope at the Royal Rumble, even Redmond, to get what he wants at WrestleMania. He was then interrupted by Sami Zayn, who was quick to bring up Punk's words from January 20th, saying that Sami is not even on his level. Sami Zayn chuckled before telling Punk he agreed with that statement. The difference between them is that unlike Punk, Sami Zayn has a WrestleMania main event to brag about. Of course, Sami captured the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship alongside Kevin Owens at WrestleMania 39 in the main event of the Saturday show. Sami Zayn's icy interaction with CM Punk led to Zayn being confronted by Karrion Kross, who advised him to start listening to his friends like Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens and being more selfish so he might be able to win the Royal Rumble. Cody Rhodes was the last person shown greeting Sami in the backstage area, and by the time Cody said hi, Zayn seemed tense and distracted. Well, that tension would carry on, as I mentioned later on in the evening, certainly. Another accident from Sami Zayn led to palpable glee on the faces of Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens, as Cody Rhodes appears to be unraveling ahead of the Royal Rumble. Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn faced each other on the Raw episode on January 27th. When McIntyre kept attacking Zayn after the match, WWE Champion Cody Rhodes came out to make the save. He was then attacked by Kevin Owens, his opponent at the Royal Rumble. McIntyre joined in on that assault, and when Zayn tried to save the day, accidentally hit Cody with a haluva kick. Sami Zayn looked as distraught as he did at the end of the January 20th episode when he accidentally kicked Seth Rollins, but Kevin Owens, Zayn's friend of many years, took the move as a sign that Zayn would have his back at the Royal Rumble when he challenges Cody Rhodes in a ladder match for the WWE Championship. Now, Cody Rhodes didn't have the best of nights last night, even when the show went off the air. The closing segment of Raw in Atlanta featured the hometown boy Cody Rhodes and the brand's top star CM Punk. They discussed their friendship, and Rhodes told Punk he was always chasing him. Punk declared he would win the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble match and challenged him for his undisputed WWE Championship at WrestleMania 41. After the show went off the air, a wild Carmelo Hayes of SmackDown appeared. Cassidy Haynes of Body Slam posted a photo of Haynes getting in the ring on social media. Melo said, "Plot twist, Atlanta, I'm closing this show out." In a video posted by Haynes, Rhodes put Hayes through in the crossroads. He then removed his dress shirt to reveal a tank top and powerbombed Hayes through the table that had been put in the ring at some point. Now, we saw some social media influence last night on Raw. Cenat made his way to Raw. The Streamer Wars are making their way to WWE as Cenat made an appearance on Raw last night in Atlanta and had some words for IShowSpeed. Cenat made his entrance down the ramp and was interviewed by Raw commentator Pat McAfee in front of the live crowd. Cenat said it was his first time attending a WWE show, but it won't be his last this week. McAfee personally invited him to attend the Royal Rumble, an offer that Cenat accepted. When asked what he's looking forward to the most at the Rumble, Kai replied he's excited to see John Cena, who appeared on his streams in the past. However, Cena wasn't finished, as he has a message for another streamer who will be at the Royal Rumble this Saturday. As can be seen on social media, Cena pretty much called out fellow streamer IShowSpeed, who was invited to the Rumble by Triple H. Now, Logan Paul made his Raw debut last night on Netflix. Logan Paul made his debut on the Netflix era of Raw in a big way, interrupting current and former World Heavyweight Champions and declaring for the Royal Rumble. It was announced last week that Paul would be appearing on the show, but wasn't announced for a match. He announced he would be a part of the Red Brand during a media event in December. The Maverick made his way down to the ring when Seth Rollins and World Heavyweight Champion Gunther were going back and forth about Rollins taking the title back from Gunther after winning the Royal Rumble match. The former United States champion arrived to a chorus of boos from the Atlanta, Georgia crowd and said the company needs a new face for Netflix, one that oozes confidence and charisma, unlike Rollins and Gunther, in his words. He said they both needed to be worried about the guy who built a WWE career faster than both of them. He declared for the match on Saturday and said throwing guys over the top rope was grunt work and he just has to be the last man standing in the ring. Gunther told Paul he wants him to win the Rumble so they can go to WrestleMania and he can knock the smirk off Paul's face. Rollins said the only person who would be getting embarrassed was Gunther if he decided to take his title back, and the segment ended without any physicality. Now, a bit of an update here on a lot of concern for JD McDonough. So this was very scary during last night's episode of Monday Night Raw. Now, the opening match of the Raw last night saw the War Raiders defend the World Tag Team Championships against Judgment Day's Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough. Now, earlier in the match, McDonough performed a springboard moonsault off the ropes to the outside, but the back of his neck whiplashed against the announce desk. McDonough continued to the end of the match, but fans at the venue reported that he collapsed just as he got to the backstage area. According to Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer, McDonough was taken to the hospital after his match. Alvarez noted that despite the spot seeing McDonough's neck whiplashed against the announce table, it was actually his ribs that seemed to be the main concern. Now, McDonough later tweeted to, calm people's worries about him. He said, quote, "First off, thanks to everyone for the messages and the concern. I'm good. I've got a couple of broken ribs and a punctured lung, so I'm going to be out for a couple of months. All things considered, it could have been a lot worse, so I'm grateful for that." So thankfully, he seems to be okay, but he is going to be out of action, as he says, for a couple of months. Now, Jey Uso continued his trend of making epic entrances last night on Raw. He declared his entry into the 2025 Royal Rumble and declared he would main event WrestleMania once again during Raw. Main event Uso failed to wrestle the World Heavyweight Championship from Gunther last weekend at Saturday night's main event, but appeared on Monday night's show in high spirits, entering alongside rapper Quavo. After taking his time to soak in the reception and yeet with Quavo and the fans in attendance, when he got in the ring, he addressed his loss to Gunther, admitting that the ring general was too good for him, but he felt he could still beat beat him and thus declared his Royal Rumble entry, as he intends to win and once more challenge Gunther. Following his loss to Gunther, Uso is still on the hunt for an elusive first world title. He broke his singles duck last year, capturing the Intercontinental Championship from Bron Breakker, cementing the WrestleMania main eventing tag team wrestler as his own individual. But he has failed 3 attempts at 3 different world heavyweight champions, Gunther, Seth Rollins, and Damian Priest, as well as 3 attempts at Roman Reigns' WWE Championship reign, twice in 2020 and once more in 2023. Now, Drew McIntyre, he confronted Paul Heyman last night on Monday Night Raw. Drew McIntyre had a warning for the wise man to pass along to his boy, but he wasn't talking about newly revealed WWE 2K25 cover star Roman Reigns. Heyman revealed the cover of the game on Raw in the middle of the ring via a banner that dropped from the rafters, showing Reigns in the ring before hitting a Superman punch, with Heyman at ringside as the game's cover art. Heyman hyped up Reigns and said the Tribal Chief is going to be the mindset of one versus all, because that's what the Royal Rumble is all about. He called Reigns the biggest star on the planet and called out the 29 other Rumble contenders, calling them Roman Reigns wannabes. McIntyre's music hit and he came down to the ring and told Heyman he's responsible for the Bloodline's success as the catalyst of it all after winning the Royal Rumble in 2020, eliminating Reigns in the process. McIntyre said he's the one who brought Heyman back to relevancy and asked for a thank you. He told Heyman to tell his boy that on Saturday he was going to target him and beat him with an inch of his life before throwing him over the top rope. When Heyman said he'd tell Reigns, McIntyre stated he meant CM Punk. Now, AJ Styles, could he be in the Royal Rumble this weekend? Well, PW Insider reported in their Elite section on Monday that WWE is, quote, hoping AJ Styles will be cleared and ready to return to the ring for the men's Rumble match. The outlet was told he is set to be in Indianapolis, Indiana, where the event will be held this weekend. Styles has been on the shelf since October after suffering an injury during his comeback match against Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown, which itself followed a 3-month hiatus after Styles lost an I Quit match to reigning undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes. Styles took the loss by referee's decision in the bout versus Hayes. During the match, Styles dropped Hayes across his knee with a fireman's carry, but his foot appeared to have not been properly planted and his knee buckled during the move. Styles pulled himself under the ropes to the doctor at ringside and was seen limping to the back following the stoppage, though at the time some outlets reported the injury wasn't legitimate. The Phenomenal One provided an update earlier in January and said the injury was challenging when a fan asked about his recovery. He had previously clarified he suffered a Liz Frank injury, which impacts the ligaments and bones in the foot, and confirmed the injury was not a storyline. Now, Penta confronted the Intercontinental Champion Bron Breakker last night on Monday Night Raw, just weeks after making his debut. In a vignette that aired on the January 27th episode of Raw, Penta declared for the men's Royal Rumble match. Later on in the show, the Intercontinental Champion Bron Breakker also declared for the Royal Rumble during a commercial break. Penta interrupted Breakker and looked at his title. Breakker responded by laughing as Breakker stared at the newly signed WWE superstar. Penta then did his signature Zero Miedo taunt. Breakker smirked as Penta walked away. Now, Zelina Vega, she's going to be trading brands as part of the transfer window. Zelina Vega is going back to Friday Night SmackDown as the WWE transfer window has separated her from Rey Mysterio and the rest of the Latino World Order. News of the move was announced by Michael Cole during the January 27th episode of Monday Night Raw ahead of Rey Mysterio's match with Xavier Woods. Vega joins the likes of the Wyatt Six and Damian Priest, The Miz and Braun Strowman as names that have been moved to SmackDown as part of the open transfer window. On SmackDown, she'll be able to compete against Tiffany Stratton for the Women's Championship or Chelsea Green for the newly initiated Women's United States Championship. Now, as for when the transfer window is going to close, we've got more details on this. Michael Cole announced on Raw that the transfer window will end during Royal Rumble weekend. Of course, the Royal Rumble is set for Saturday, February 1st, which we'll be doing a watch-along as well. Now, Ilya Dragunov, bit of an update when it comes to his injury recovery. Ilya Dragunov tore his ACL in September during a WWE live event. With an injury like that, typically keeping a wrestler on the shelf for anywhere between 6 to 9 months. Dragunov's injury was only 4 months ago, but according to Fightful Select, the Russian was spotted inside the WWE Performance Center this week, and he was wearing workout gear. The report noted that it wasn't clear if Dragunov was working out in the ring or simply having his recovery process evaluated. The most recent update on Dragunov's injury recovery came last week, with sources spotting the wrestler at the PC but not wearing wrestling gear. Instead, it was believed that Dragunov was undergoing standard training, though that may have changed by now. So it looks like possibly he could be making a recovery sooner than expected. Now, as far as other injuries, a concerning one here for Dakota Kai. Now, according to PW Insider, Raw star and Damage Control member Dakota Kai has been diagnosed with a concussion ahead of the Royal Rumble and will remain out of the ring until she clears the company's concussion protocol. Kai last competed alongside Io Sky and against Pure Fusion Collective's Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark on last week's episode of Raw. The week before that, she was defeated by Lyra Valkyria in the final of the Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament. Kai defeated Stark, Baszler, and Katana Chance in the tournament to get her shot at the gold. Kai just returned to Raw from a knee injury that required surgery on her right meniscus in November, appearing as a surprise in a 6-woman tag team match alongside Sky and Kairi Sane. Kai was on the shelf for nearly a year after suffering a torn ACL in a tag match in May 2023. When she returned in March ahead of WrestleMania 40, she turned on former Damage Control leader Bayley in her first match back and realigned herself with Sky and Zayn. Kai was initially released by WWE in April 2022, but appeared alongside Bayley in her return to the company at SummerSlam later that year. A bit of an update here when it comes to production for the Royal Rumble this weekend. During last night's Raw, the final episode before the Royal Rumble, the programming slate for the Royal Rumble weekend was revealed. On Friday, January 31st, Michael Cole and Pat McAfee will host the Royal Rumble kickoff show starting at 5 p.m. Eastern. Then on Saturday, the coverage begins with the countdown show at 4 p.m. Eastern before the main PLE starts at 6 p.m. Eastern. As well as announcing that he and McAfee will be hosting the kickoff show, Michael Cole also confirmed the commentary desk lineup for the PLE. Cole confirmed that it will be himself, McAfee, and Wade Barrett calling the Rumble event as a trio. With a few exceptions, Barrett generally hasn't been at the announce desk for recent WWE PLEs, instead mainly just being a panelist on the countdown and post shows. Now, a bit of an update here when it comes to Rhea Ripley. There was some concern coming out of Saturday night's main event this past weekend. This past weekend saw the second edition of WWE's return to network primetime TV with Saturday night's main event on NBC, with a show featuring 3 championship matches. It was during one of those that a current champion suffered a potential medical issue. According to a new report from Fightful Select, Rhea Ripley had the wind knocked out of her during her Women's World Championship match against Nia Jax. The report does note that Ripley was okay, and there was no mention of it being a bigger issue. And finally, we have the ratings for Friday's episode of SmackDown on USA Network. Friday night's WWE SmackDown episode averaged 1.455 million viewers on USA Network, which is up 3.7% from the previous week. It's the second highest audience total for the show since December 13th. The show finished in the top 10 overall on television for the night in terms of total viewers, which it has not done since moving to USA. SmackDown finished first on all television in the 18-49 demo with a 0.44 rating. That's up close to 5% from last week and ties the second best rating the show has done since November 22nd. The show finished well ahead of the major sports competition, a college basketball game on Fox that did 1.069 million viewers and a 0.23 rating in the 18-49, and an NBA game on ESPN that averaged 424,000 viewers and a 0.13 in the demo. As compared to the same week in 2024 when the show still aired on Fox, SmackDown's overall viewership is down 41.2%, while its 18-49 rating was down 38%. This was the weekend of the Royal Rumble last year, which always does a number well above average. But there you go, guys, the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button, be sure to subscribe bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.